have on the phone with me today Billy Ray False of HighJump Software. Billy Ray is going to talk to us a little bit today about the components of EDI and how it can help your company. Billy's been with HighJump for about 5 years, but he does have 15 years of sales and channel account management experience with EDI software, so he is a great resource for this.
Thank you, and welcome everybody. Today what we're going to be doing is covering a high-level view of what is EDI and how can it benefit your company. We'll be looking at a range of different components that make up an EDI solution, and also more practically, how you as an end user will want to engage your customers in using EDI and specific recommendations or requirements that they may have for you as one of their vendors. What we'll be covering first off today is an introduction to HighJump True Software. We're then going to go into what is this EDI that we're talking about and how does it fit into the business world. The next step will be preparing for understanding EDI and the requirements of an EDI solution. Then we'll look at some of the benefits of EDI and also areas where EDI specifically affects the supply chain management of your solution. And finally, working with TrueCommerce. And then we'll have open up for a little bit of open discussion at the end. Now, starting off, who is HighJump Software? We're a global provider of supply chain management solutions. And so what we want to really do is focus on streamlining not just on-hand inventory, but that on-hand inventory and all the information that goes with it, all the way from a supplier's warehouse to a store's shelf and giving that complete visibility. And that's where TrueCommerce comes in. We're part of the HighJump Software company of families. We're the TrueCommerce EDI Solutions group. What we focus on solely is that documentation of the materials moving through the supply chain. Typically what we're going to focus on is when a finished product moves from your supply chain center to your customer's location. We've achieved the highest level of partnerships with leading ERP providers. Currently we have over 3,300 customers. We're continually adding more, and we support relationship with 3,000 different unique trading partners. We transact over 100,000 transactions daily, and we are solely focused on EDI. So what I want to kind of cover is that we're an end-to-end EDI solutions provider, and we're focused and capable of handling most any X12 EDI document need. A specific focus of what we do is integration with Sage ERP Solutions. We offer the exclusively endorsed EDI solution, and that's going to cover the 50, 100, 300, 500 models of Sage ERP. And I would draw specific attention to our Sage 100 Business Objects version. That integration we launched a little over a year and a half ago, and that is considered one of the leading edge technologies across all Sage ISV providers. We allow you to send documents back and forth with your trading partners in a very simple and affordable way. We want the end user to feel like they're using and emulating email. We want it to be very straightforward, and we provide a level of automation that you can set up inside of your system. It allows us to really leverage our strengths of bringing a sales order into your system, allowing you to auto-pack and template your shipping notices. And also we're tying in, for those of you that use third-party logistics firms, we're tying in out of the box the ability to work with an independent warehouse or warehouse fulfillment company. I know that sounds all well and good, but where does this EDI fit in, and what is EDI? Essentially what EDI is a standardized platform so that multiple different companies can all send their unique document to their company, their unique purchase order, but it's across the standardized platform so that all purchase orders are going to obey and follow that standardized platform. The advantage of that is that as you're adding and working with different customers, they're all going to have their specific requirements, but the purchase order, the invoice, the shipping notice becomes standardized across all companies, essentially creating a language to allow companies to talk to each other And when we move to the second part, integration, to allow us to take that standardized data and pull it directly into your ERP system. So again, what I try to stress is it's a uniform platform that is basically it's a series of bridges that can operate across multiple companies, tying everyone together in a standardized format. What does this mean from a practical standpoint? You know, as you go around life, EDI is all around you, kind of living in the background. As you notice here, I have listed that almost every major grocery chain uses EDI. Every big box retailer uses EDI. And predominantly, almost all the third-party logistics firms are also going to leverage EDI. So what it essentially means is when a consumer is walking into a store, almost everything on that shelf got there via EDI. So it's always there working in the background to provide you with a great tool for expanding your business into these markets. If we look at the big picture of EDI and why it's important, well, you know, number one is business growth. It offers small businesses the growth into large retailers, into large-scale opportunities. One thing I will mention is EDI is by no means restricted to the retail industry. There's over 800 different EDI documents serving over 300 different industries, but this is something that's easy and you can see in front of you on a day-to-day basis, and everybody has visibility to. But essentially, if we boil it down, it's allowing companies to deal with larger companies which implement EDI as a cost savings measure, but also to standardize the method of communication with their suppliers. So it's a great opportunity when you're asked to do EDI. You're kind of advancing your business. The second part is, as we're all well aware, there's been an explosion in the e-commerce and the internet business model. Behind all of those transactions, you know, not just the user interface where someone's buying a product online, but once they've committed that order on the website, everything that takes place behind conveying that order to the supplier conveying the shipping information, the shipping going to the end user, that's all handled with EDI behind the scenes. Additionally, inside of the small business space, it's very critical to your business plan because it's going to align with growing intelligent POS systems, but it's also allowing you to tie in and better leverages cost savings in transportation, logistics, and just-in-time inventory. It allows your business to really make that next step. A couple commonly used EDI terms, and this will be a good indicator that if you're viewing this presentation with an eye towards, geez, am I being asked to do EDI? I've just put up here a couple very commonly used terms. If you start seeing these terms, it's a pretty good indicator that you're going to be doing EDI. Without going into too great of detail, the EDI that we're talking about in specific is ANSI X12 EDI. That's the predominant form of EDI in North America. Roughly 98% of all transactions are going to be X12. The trading partner is who you're sending data to and from. A kilocharacter is essentially a unit of measure for the size of the data that you're going across the network. An implementation guide is basically telling you how the EDI transactions will need to be set up and the processes to work with the trading partner. VAN, a term many of you will be familiar with, value-added network, that's essentially how those kilocharacters are going to be transmitted and how that data will go back and forth with the trading partner. The transaction set is essentially the documents and the formats that you'll be using with your customer. And then finally, integration is how we're getting that data directly into your Sage ERP system. When we look at an EDI document, and I have a little bit of sample data here to the right, as you can see, the raw EDI is what goes over the network. And just taking a look at it, you know, that's not something that's very easily decipherable. Sure, if you sit down with a guide, you can decipher what's being transmitted in among all those different characters, but it really harkens back to an earlier age in computers. It's not something that you want to have to work with on a day-to-day basis. What we're going to do is take that raw EDI data and convert it into a usable format in a couple of multiple methods. One, providing a screen viewable version, a print preview version that you can use as a hard copy if needed, and then finally preparing that raw X12 EDI to match the format of your Sage system to create an import-export routine. And commonly what you're going to be trading in and out of your Sage system are the core documents, the purchase order, the EDI 850 document, the shipping document known as the EDI 856, and finally the invoice, the EDI 810 document. If you are utilizing a warehouse, that warehouse information is going to be passed over to the warehouse in a 940 document instructing them what to ship, and a 945 document coming back with the shipping details of who they shipped and what they shipped. Finally, one other thing you'll occasionally see, which is the functional acknowledgement, the 997. This would be akin to a read receipt on an email or a fax confirmation. It's essentially letting you and your customer know that the data was successfully submitted and received by both parties. So why is it that your customers want you to use EDI? Well, you know, one thing is that in this day and age, just-in-time inventory management kind of rules the day. So this allows you to comply with that large customer's mandate of how they want to run their inventory, but it also allows you as a provider of goods and services a faster time to market. If you're already EDI compliant, you're going to have a leg up on a competitor that's not. Additionally, when you're EDI enabled, you can go out and provide these details to a company, which is going to allow you, when you begin working with them, to have a faster setup time, to get your products on the shelves quicker, and to get paid quicker. It also is going to help reduce out-of-stock inventory. And one of the things I always stress about EDI is we're looking for accuracy and efficiency. So it's going to greatly improve that accuracy of information going back and forth, because you're directly taking the information supplied by your customer and building your sales order, your shipping document, based upon the information they provided to you. So you don't have to worry about them sending you a piece of information which then has to go through, whether it be a person entering it or a person transmitting that order. We're taking that information provided by the customer directly to bring it into the system. Finally, it gives you end-to-end visibility of your sales, invoice, and shipping process with your customer. Now, what I'm going to do is go into detail of a little of the really important things of EDI transactions. The first is, what can it do for you? Again, typically, if you're doing EDI and it's new to you, you're responding to a customer's request that they want to do business with you, but to do business with them requires an EDI transaction. Think of it this way. A customer has thousands of suppliers. They need one unified transition method, EDI, and one unified standard, EDI, to send and receive their data, so they don't kind of have a hodgepodge of dealing with all their suppliers. You as an end user are going to benefit from forcing manual entry errors out, and you're also going to have a unified format for receiving your purchase orders, sending your invoices. It gives you a competitive advantage, and it improves your turnaround time on payment. And finally, when you utilize an integrated system, it's going to increase your overall productivity as an organization. With our automation tools, you can go ahead and bring that data in, even if it's off business hours, so that when you come in to start the day, your orders have already been brought in from your customers, or that you can receive them off business hours after you've gone home for the evening. Finally, it gets rid of, and this is the manual entry data are big, you don't have someone rekeying every order that you get. What I'm going to go into now is specifically related to these manual data entry errors. The key ones are units of measure. What we want to get rid of and drive out is any question of what does one mean, for example. Is that one of each unit? Is it a master pack, a case lot, a skid? Your customer in the EDI document defines what one is and that unit of measure. inside of our software, the Transaction Manager, we're also going to set up item tables. And the key to that is that we're going to allow you to match the data that your customer is sending up to the data that you have stored within inside of Sage, allowing you to use an alias for a product type if your customer wants to use their own naming convention, allowing you to convert 12 into a case pack or a master pack. Also, what we're going to do there in the units of measure is store a ship-to code. A customer may define a physical address only as ship-to code 0156. We're going to store that information so you can match the ship code. Again, what we're trying to do is create accuracy and efficiency. And that's also where the clarity of the item ID comes in. In addition to storing our master packs and unit conversions, we can also allow you to have a price lookup, tracking by a stock keeping unit such as a SKU or a UPC number, and it allows you to be more flexible in meeting your customers' requirements, which again is why all of this is in order in the first place, is to engage new customers and retain customers. Also, shipment information. Obviously, you need to be specific and exact with those quantity sizes, and in some circumstances, weights and measures. If you're using distribution centers or 3PLs or different trucking lines, it becomes very key to provide them with the exact unit dimensions and sometimes the weight so that they can accurately know what size truck to send if they're sending an LTL carrier to you. Or if there are errors in communications in sizes, weight, it creates challenges for your warehouses, which can lead to a chargeback from the warehouse because you're repacking a trailer, or one didn't equal one, or you're even just spending time on the phone re-explaining something. EDI is driving all of those errors out of the supply chain. The next up is missing a ship date. What we're bringing over is accurate ship dates of not only if the customer has a requested date, but when you furnish your shipping notice to them, it's going to tell them what you're sending, how it's packaged, where it's being shipped to, what line it's being carried by, and finally an anticipated date of arrival. Also, it can also carry over a tracking number if your customer is going to look that up. The key reason for that feature is so that they adequately staff the warehouse to know that your product is coming in at a specific time. So let's look at how this all works inside of our solution. And what we're looking at is all of these documents in totality. Now, as you can see over here, I've been talking a lot about retail and grocery, but again, EDI can cover a wide variety of industries and services. What they all have in common is the method of delivery and integration. The first thing that your customer is going to do is send their EDI data out, and in this case, it's going to go to a network. Now, our specific network is the TrueCommerce Trading Network, or TC.net. The advantage is that as an end-to-end solution, as you can see our maintenance and support running underneath this entire process, we give you visibility, and we can aid and assist with that visibility from the very moment your customer issues that document. As soon as it hits our trading network, you have visibility to it. The next part is that each individual customer has their own mapping. So inside the overall rules of an EDI document that covers everyone, there becomes the specifics, the fingerprint, if I will, of your specific customer. We're going to store that customer-specific X12 mapping inside of our system. It's basically the partner mapping, as you can see here. The next step is after we've validated that partner mapping detail, it's going to come into our translator. It's still raw X12 EDI, and we're going to convert it into a usable format inside of our software, the Transaction Manager. Now, you do have the option to go in and open up the Transaction Manager and look at those specific documents, or you can set them up on an automated basis to automatically proceed to the next step, which is the integration map. Now, this integration map is specific to your Sage ERP system. We are now mapping to fields inside of Sage. In the case of Sage 100, we would use business objects so that we're taking that data and seamlessly porting it over so you can create the entry inside of your Sage system. And again, we support that for 50, 100, 300, 500. We also support that for X3, PFW, Pro. So we have those solutions for you. In addition to our endorsed solutions, we do support some of the older Sage models, and we can go over the specifics of where we're at in the life cycle of those products based upon Sage's life cycle. Finally, the other thing is that going back out of the Sage system, we're going to repeat that process of taking data through the integration mapping, translating it, mapping it to your specific customer, and then it goes back out over the trading network to the customer. Again, as you can see underneath, maintenance and support for all of these transactions are provided by TrueCommerce. Additionally, if your customer makes changes to their mapping or connection type, that's also supported and maintained by TrueCommerce at no additional cost. One other nice thing is that as you add new partners, we're just dropping that new partner in their specific mapping. The rest of your system stays constant, so it's very scalable to add new business to your existing system. Finally, the last thing I would mention here is this little cloud that we have up here. In addition to offering this as an on-premises solution, this is something that we can execute with a cloud-based solution if you would like to look at that option. A couple of the transaction manager modules that we offer. I mentioned in specific references here the scheduler, which is what's going to create that automation. The automation you can set up to run customer-specific, document-specific, time-specific. It's a very flexible tool for you. You don't have to use the scheduler, but once you become comfortable with the software and your business relationship with the customer, most people will go to a scheduled basis. Additionally, we offer a shipping module, which allows you to pull data directly in to populate a shipping document, and we're basically pulling that data directly from a FedEx, a UPS. A packing list solution. The packing list is specific to a lot of the .coms where they want you to ship directly to the customer an order that they took, but that packing list is going to be on their letterhead logo. We handle all of that for you. And finally, a labeling solution, which is different from the packing list solution. And that labeling solution is specific to the UCC 128 requirement, which is something that companies scan when it's received at a warehouse or a distribution center typically, which tells them the contents of that box by referencing the specific shipping notice for that box. We can allow multiple concurrent users into the system. We can also support a multi-company environment inside of your Sage system. So if you do have multiple companies, or if your trading partner wants to set you up as 2 different companies, that's no problem. We can deploy a module for you. Finally, we can set that up so that you can receive purchasing or send purchasing. If you decide to go with an enablement, which would basically be you sending purchase orders to your suppliers, that's something that we can set up for you. It's a very similar process. The difference is you're sending an purchase order, receiving an invoice, and creating a receipt of goods as opposed to creating a shipping document. So what makes HighJump and TrueCommerce a bit different? Well, the first of all is we have dedicated support and deployment teams and technical and phone support. And just putting a bigger umbrella around this, what we have is we have our teams set up in pods grouped around the specific business systems that they support. So the advantage is it's not just can you pick up a phone and call somebody for technical support, but you're going to get somebody that's specifically familiar with your business system. You're not going to have to get somebody on the phone or submit a ticket and explain how Sage works. The person that you're going to get is going to be specifically familiar with your Sage system. And beyond that, we have working behind the scenes a group of folks that just work with the trading partners, whether it be maintaining updates to the trading partner requirements, or whether it's basically working with you to set up your item tables or your aliases. So we have whole teams, both during the deployment and after you're deployed, in support that are system specific and they're product experts, not just at Sage, but also at EDI in general. Again, all we do at TrueCommerce is EDI. A couple other things is there's no annual software maintenance or contract. All you will do is have your one-time software purchase and setup, and then your monthly network charge for the network, which starts as low as $60 a month. So there's no hidden fees. You're basically going to have your upfront initial software cost and then your ongoing network cost. And we can go into all of the details on that. But again, there's no hidden little gotcha fees at any point. What I would like to do is hopefully, this was something that you can benefit as to defining whether you need EDI or not. Would love to work with you and answer more specific questions on that. And if you'd like, you can just click on the link here for Marketing EDI at HighJump, and that'll come over to set up a product demonstration or additional discovery for you on your requirements. Again, I'd like to thank everybody for participating and watching this webinar today, and look forward to working with you on all your requirements in the future.
Thanks, Billy Ray. I think that was great. I think that you definitely shed some light on some common and pretty crucial questions for not only Sage users, but for anybody using EDI or interested in what EDI can do for their company.
Again, you can either contact us directly, or you can work with one of your Sage resources, and they'll coordinate with us to get you a demo and discovery.